Hello friends, welcome to my channel and we are going to analyze the articles of the Hindu. And before going in for analysis, I request you guys to please hit the like button, subscribe my channel and also give your opinion about the video. So coming to the article now, Raging Rupee. See guys, this article is all about the rupee value. See, you need to know that the value of rupee is increasing day by day. That is with respect to the US dollars, and this article is related to that. So this article tries to say that the Indian rupee has turned out to one of the best performing currencies in the world, which has gained a 6% against the US dollars. That is with respect to the last year. And it tries to brings in few factual information. It says that the currency hit a 2-year high of 63.60 last Wednesday, while few were predicting that it could be rupees 70, but the Indian rupee with respect to US dollar rate is 63.60 right now, and the reason for this is because of strong inflows of foreign capital. So this article tries to say that strong capital inflows has managed to attain this level, and even this article tries to brings in few facts which is given by the Reserve Bank of India. It tries to say that the foreign portfolio investors invested rupees 15.2 billion in India. In addition, even foreign direct investment has doubled when compared to last year. See guys, I would like to make a point here. You need to know what is the meaning of foreign portfolio investment. At the same time, you need to know what is the meaning of foreign direct investment. To remember in the easiest way, you remember that foreign portfolio investment is the investment which is done in securities, shares, corporate bonds or infrastructure securities, etc. So the class of investors who make investment in these securities are called as foreign portfolio investors. So these foreign portfolio investors includes FII, that is foreign institutional investors, qualified foreign investors. See, qualified foreign investors is determined by Financial Action Task Force, and those which is managed by SEBI. Fine. So you just remember in this way, foreign portfolio investors means those who invest in shares and bonds. Fine. Now with respect to FDI, FDI is something which directly invest into the equities of the company. The major difference between FII and the FDI is that here the investment will be only up to 10%, that is in FII or in foreign portfolio investment. The investment will be up to 10%, while in FDI, that is in foreign direct investment, the investment will be more than 10% in a firm. And one more major important point is that they will play an important role in decision making with respect to that firm. I hope the point is clear. Fine. So this article tries to say that the foreign portfolio investment has raised plus the foreign direct investment has raised. So there is a large inflow of capital in India compared to 2013. See, in 2013 what happened is US Federal Reserve has gone for Fed trapping. See guys, you need to note these two terms. One is quantitative easing and the other one is Fed trapping. Quantitative easing is US Federal Reserve issuing more notes into the market. That is, they increase the money supply into the market. This is called as quantitative easing. And federal trapping is something where the US Federal Reserve follow a tight monetary policy where they do not pump more money into the market. So in 2013, the US Federal Reserve was following an Fed trapping, and because of that, more money could not come into Indian markets. Fine. So that's what this article tries to say. And this article tries to say that now this time around, emerging market have escaped the Fed approach towards tightening. That is, the federal trapping has not been maintained by the US Federal Reserve, which contributed to increase in the value of the rupee. And even this article tries to say that one of the important reason for strengthening of this money is because of RBI hawkish stance. See, hawkish stance means an aggressive step which is taken by RBI. Fine. So this article tries to say that RBI has been very much determined with respect to its inflation, and RBI has also made the inflation rate to pass down around 2%. Fine. That is because of the RBI policies, inflation rate has gone down. So this has spilled over to influence the external value of rupee as well. See guys, I would like to explain a simple concept here. See, the money value is determined by the demand and supply. Now, here the article tries to say that the RBI has maintained an aggressive policy where the inflation rate has been dipped down, has been reduced. So, reducing the inflation means reducing the money supply. So, reducing the money supply means there is a demand for the money. money in the market, and because there is a demand for the money in the market, the value of the money goes up. I hope the point is understood. So this is what this article tries to say, and even one could apply the same logic with respect to FDI and FII. See guys, FDI and FII means investing money inside India. Fine. In FII, the share will be up to 10%, while in FDI, the share will be about 10%. Fine. So the logic here is the money will be invested in Indian rupees. That is, say for instance, an investor from US wants to invest in India, and he will be investing in Indian companies. He will buy the share of Indian companies in Indian rupees. So he will try to convert the dollars into Indian rupees. Fine. So one could see that because of the increase in FDI and FII, there is a more need of Indian rupee, and because of this, the demand of the rupee increases, which played a major role in determining the value of the rupee. Fine. So this article also tries to say that even oil prices has been remaining stable, so which has been helping India to shell out fewer rupees on oil exports. See guys, even this is easily understood. See, the oil prices in the international market has not increased, and because of this, Indian money will be saved, because ultimately for bringing in oil, India needs to buy dollars, for which India needs to convert Indian rupees into dollars. So because of non-increment of oil prices, there is no demand for dollars, which also save Indian rupee. Fine. So this article tries to say that, and because of this, there is an improvement in the current account deficit. So current account deficit is the trade deficit, that is export minus import. So which stood at 0.7% of the GDP, which is compared to 4.8% in 2012-13. Fine. So while bringing in the factors which is responsible for the increase in the value of the currency, this article also tries to say that there are also few worries of a strong rupee. It tries to say that the impact of a strong rupee is on the exports. See guys, again I would like to explain a concept here. Generally, if the value of the rupee increases, then the export of the particular nation decreases. See, if the value of the rupee increases, then the price of the products in the nation will increase with respect to the other nations. Even you can apply the same logic here. If US gives $1, then you can buy 70 rupees worth of rice previous year, but now the rate is 63 rupees. So because of this, you can buy only rice up to 63 rupees. I hope the concept is clear. So because of the increase in price, the export decrease. So that's what this article tries to say. This article tries to say that a strong rupee has an impact on the export, and it tries to brings in two sectors. It says that particularly the pharmaceutical sector and the information technology sector has been affected. But this article also tries to say that the appreciating rupee has also impacted stock markets, as it tries to brings in a fact that every 1% appreciation in the external value of the rupee caused the earning of the Nifty companies, that is the top 50 companies, to drop down by 0.6%. So which is not a very important fact. So this article as a scenario tries to say that in the present low growth global environment, every countries try to steal growth from each other. That is, in the globalized world, many countries are interested in other markets. They tend to see the rupee values, they tend to invest there with respect to the rupee values. There are many speculators. So many could take the advantages of the present situation which is present in India. So this article tries to say that the scenario is not a very good prospectus, and this should not be taken as a very good signal, because the exporters would be affected more. See, as I told you before, because of the increase in the value of the rupee, the exporters would be affected more. So the exporters should adapt themselves to the uncertainties of doing business across borders. And even this article tries to say that the central bank has been doing good with respect to the present scenario. That is, it does not take any action with respect to the value of rupee. That is, it does not take any stringent action to change the value of the rupee. But at the same time, it should not take things for granted. As the article tries to mention that the tighter monetary policy in the West, that is the US Fed trapping, may exert more pressure on the rupee. See guys, I have explained this before. Because of the Fed trapping, less dollar would be available in the market, so the demand for the dollar would go up, and because of the demand for the dollars go up, the value of the dollars may go up with respect to rupee. Fine. So that's what this article tries to say. If the West follows a tighter monetary policy, then it could bring in pressure on the Indian rupee. At that time, the RBI has to adopt itself with respect to the rupee, and it has to let the rupee to find its natural value. That is, at that time, the prices will be determined by the demand and supply with respect to the dollar. So that's it with respect to this article, guys. See guys, to tell about this in a crux format, this article will be helpful in your prelim. So you just remember in this way, because of the incoming FDI and FII, and because of the RBI tight monetary policy, and because of the non-changing oil price, and even because of quantitative easing by the US Federal Reserve. So because of these four factors, the value of the rupee has gone up. So this is the crux of the article. Fine. So we'll move on to the next one. So coming to the next article, pursued by danger. See guys, this article is not very much important. I'll just give the crux of it. What happened is, a woman was stalked by a man in Chandigarh at night. So he happens to be the son of a famous politician. So he was arrested by the police and he was released on bail. So this article tries to say that the section 354D of Indian Penal Code says that stalking is a bailable offence. Fine. And even this article tries to brings in few information which is not very much important and tries to brings in the plight with respect to the woman's safety. So this article tries to say that stalking should be considered as a crime. Rather, it is considered normal as it is the seed for a bigger and violent crime. And even this article tries to talk about society and try to say that these sort of offenders are not brought to justice often. So that's it with respect to this article, guys. It is not an important article. So we'll move on to the next article. So coming to the next article, a gathering crisis. See guys, this article tries to say that there is a groundwater crisis which is prevailing in India, and this groundwater crisis is of much magnitude and there is a need for urgent measure which is needed to be taken. So this article tries to say that the recent groundwater crisis is because of the law and policy measures which has been insufficient and tries to blame the government for that, and also tries to say that this land groundwater crisis is because of the fact that the primary source for the domestic water and the irrigation is the groundwater, but the media and the policy makers focuses on surface water. So this is the scenario which is prevailing in India, and there is a need for a policy over groundwater utilization. So this article tries to say that the change in the water table have been falling rapidly, that is the water levels have been decreasing, and the indicating factor is that the water table decreases than the replenishment rate. Fine. So that's what this article tries to say, and even this article tries to brings in few historical backgrounds. It tries to say that one of the underlying reasons for the excessive use of this groundwater is because of the legal framework which is prevailed in India. So this article tries to talk about a judgment. It says that in the mid 19th century, a judge decided that the easiest way to regulate invisible substance was to give the landholders right to access groundwater, so which gave them a sense of ownership. So this led to a framework where landholders saw groundwater as their own resource and they started exploiting without considering the need to protect and replenish it. See, there is no immediate consequences of over exploiting groundwater resource, so they started over exploiting, and the introduction of mechanical pumps even increased it. That is, with the help of the mechanical pumps, the groundwater became the basic source of water and the exploitation rate was also increased. And there was also incident that the big landholders used to sell this groundwater to others. So this article tries to say that because of the enhancement in mechanical pumping, that is because of bringing in modernization, that is motor well, etc., the union government recognized that there was a need to modernize the regularity framework for accessing groundwater. So the union government thought to bring in a framework for regulating the groundwater, and a model bill was introduced in 1970. But this article tries to say that modern bill did not address the issue, which again gave the landholders unlimited control over the groundwater. And even many states came up after 1990s where they have ratified their own groundwater legislation, but even they failed to address the problem of falling water tables due to the increasing use of groundwaters. And this article tries to say that there is no provision which is existing in our law to protect and conserve the groundwater at the aquifer level. See guys, here I would like to make a point. Aquifer is an underground layer of water bearing permeable rock from which the groundwater can be extracted. So it is the level until which the groundwater is present and it can be extracted. Fine. So this is called as aquifer. So this article tries to say that there is no legal regime and even there is no law which gave the Gram Sabha and the Panchayat a right to essentially protect their local resources, and tries to say that the present framework top-down approach is incapable of addressing this situation. And even this article again and again tries to bring in the same scenario and criticize the government. So says that the situation has become worse day by day. The quantity of the water pumped is increasing, which become a cause of concern, and criticizes government that the legal regime has clearly failed to address the growing multiple crises of groundwater. So as a solution, this article tries to bring in a bill, which is the Groundwater Sustainable Management Bill 2017. Which is recently launched by Ministry of Water Resource, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation. So this bill is based on the current understanding of groundwater, and it links with the surface water and tries to ensure legal framework for regulating groundwater management. So this article tries to brings in few provision of the bill. It tries to say that the Groundwater Bill 2017 proposes a different regulatory framework which is different from the thing which is present in the past. That is, it is different from outdated, inequitable and environmentally unfriendly legal regime in place. place. So it tries to say that it is based on the recognition of unitary nature of water, the need for decentralized control over groundwater, and the necessity to protect it at aquifer. See guys, first this article tries to bring in the concern with respect to the groundwater, and then it tries to bring in the provisions with respect to the bill. So as a concern, we saw that the top-down approach is not working for protecting the groundwater resources. So this bill, that is the Groundwater Bill 2017, has been brought in where it emphasized on decentralized control. That is, the Gram Sabha and the Panchayats will be given enough power to maintain their groundwater resources. And the Groundwater Bill 2017 maintains that there is a necessity to protect the groundwater level at aquifer level. Fine. And even this bill is also based on few developments took place throughout the decade. So few provisions of the bill is that there is a recognition that water is a public trust, the recognition that the fundamental right to water, and there is an also protection principles with the precautionary principle. So this bill tries to ensure that. So this article tries to say that a new regulatory regime for controlling the groundwater resource, which happens to be providing water to 4/5 of the population and which happens to be a major source of irrigation, is urgently needed. So a regulatory regime is urgently needed. So this article tries to say that the present new regime, that is the present bill, will benefit the resource, that is the groundwater, and it will also benefit the majority of the people through local decision making. So as a solution, this article tries to say that one needs to use the water resource in an effective manner, in a sustainable manner, so that the future generation is not affected. Fine. So that's it with respect to this article. See guys, I know this article is very much boring. Even it was boring to me to take this article, but these sort of articles cannot be explained with the background. It is just article which you need to know. So that's it with respect to this article, guys. And I would also like to make one more point. See guys, the left out articles will be covered by me in the next video, and yesterday, that is 7th August video, will be updated by me in half an hour. Fine guys. So that's it for today. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching.